Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had your Thea, smash that subscribe button. Go and have her smash it right now. 2-for-1, 2-on-1. Call it what you want to call it, right? Second video of the day. A lot of people been asking me, how did you do it? How did you pull off the unthinkable, right? Well, the cojones you must have to do what you did, right? You did what nobody else has done in the past. Yeah, people have done this or that, try to leave, but nothing on the magnitude or scale that this has been going, right? It's nuts. It absolutely is nuts, right? I'm just taken aback as everybody else. Wow. So, as you guys know, I did 16 years in the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, starting at Centinela State Prison and ending at Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility, right? I'm starting to think that's where everything went horribly wrong. I'm starting to gather that, right? So at what point did I make the decision to leave? I'm going to say a year out, maybe 8 months. To be fair, would be 8 months, right? Because it wasn't a whole year. What had finally pushed me over? It was continuous, man. It was like, you guys see how I conduct myself. You guys see how strong my morals, ethics, and values are, right? It was the stuff that I was seeing on a daily basis. And it was just getting worse, like worse, and worse. And dangerous. Dangerous for inmates, dangerous for staff. At the expense of the higher ups. Like they're sitting in this in their cushy chairs, drinking their coffee. Pick yourself a don't be a buffoon mug too while you're at it. You like that? So sitting in a cushy chair, drinking their coffee, right? Mixing these GPs and SNYs. COVID is running rampant, mixing everybody up around. Well, they're sitting in their chair. They're sitting in their desk, man. That was disgusting. That's opposite of a leader that I have ever seen in my entire life. So why am I so passionate about leadership? Well, when I was 17 years old, I had those leaders, man. In the Army, they're all tattooed on my back. They were killed in Iraq, right? They're my brothers. They're my brothers. It was 8 of them total, 9 who committed suicide a couple years ago, right? And they showed me the way. Man, not only did they show me the way, they showed me the ultimate sacrifice. Like they gave their life for the greater cause, for the greater good, for us, right? So when I start thinking and comparing, it's like, hey man, I came from that. I was raised that way. It's almost to say a no-brainer, okay? Yes, it takes a lot of thought and a lot of planning and a lot of preparation, but it was an easy decision, right? A lot of planning, but money. I did the math. Over $100,000 a year, easily. Probably 120, easily, without even trying. If you count the involuntary overtimes, the holdovers, times 12 more years. Times 12 more years. That's how long I had to turn 50. What? $1.2 million? I gave up $1.2 million? No, that's not the way I look at it. I look at it as, you can't put a price tag on me. You can't. I'm not even worth 1.2 million, right? You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that to me. You're not going to do that to others and expect to get away with it, right? It was absolutely disgusting. And for headquarters in Sacramento to just sit back, they haven't reached out to me yet. Who knows if they will or they won't. Doesn't matter. There's a thing called plausible deniability, right? What that means is you should have known what was going on. We know what was going on. They knew what was going on. Because Kathleen Ellison, the secretary at the time, there was a sergeant's academy. And whenever there's a sergeant's academy, the secretary comes down. And you have to go around and introduce yourself. Oh, I'm so-and-so from Centinela State Prison. Oh, I'm so-and-so from Calipat. Oh, where are you from? And this is a true story. The homie said, oh, I'm so-and-so from RJD, Richard J. Donovan. And Kathleen Ellison said, oh, you poor thing. That's what I'm talking about right there. Like, that agitates me, right? That boils my blood. Like, not that that lady was bad. I'm not saying, I'm never going to say that that lady was bad. What I'm saying is the plausible deniability. So if she's gone and everybody else that followed suit, they're still going to have to be held liable for what they enabled and turned a blind eye to. So key points, right? Key points. I got a daughter, my wife, my mental health. So I was seeing a lot of grimy stuff within my own peers, my own rank. I was just seeing a lot of grimy stuff, man. People pretending they were hardcore when clearly they were not, man. Going out workman's comp. I think one of them's on light duty right now. A couple of them are workman's comp. It just was sickening, right? Yeah, I used to earn and burn my sick time. Meaning, as soon as I got it, I would take it, right? I got a daughter. I never made my job my life. Maybe that's why it was easy. But I was bringing that mental draining stuff home, right? It was affecting the family for sure. The way my daughter would look at me, kind of be standoffish, not like too standoffish, but it was not to the point where, hey man, you would like your daughter to be, right? And I said, man, there's something has to give. There's something. And it was just that, the job, right? Rats getting ahead, rats make at work, rats on our side, green side, making frivolous allegations against our partners. And in turn, they would get promoted. They would sell their souls. You're ratting on somebody. You're making something up to get a promotion. And then at the end of the investigation, it was unfounded. It was actually found that you lied about it. And nothing happens to that person. I can't do that. Your boy can't. That is not my world. That is not my domain. That is not my kingdom. I do not operate like that. I cannot even stomach it. Your boy can't stomach it. Oh my God. Just that. Just over. Like, man, peers of mine, heavily overweight, like trying to talk smack to me, like old fools too, like that were at the end of their career. And I'm just like, there's no way, man. I'll run circles around you. Like, I will run circles, like physically and like hamster wise, right? Like there's no way. I don't want to be here. Like, not gonna happen. That's it, right? So, and I kept it cool, right? Like I never disrespected nobody. It was just we clowned each other, but there was just a lot of things that just did not sit well, right? So a homie, I'm giving a shout out to that homie right now. He told me, why don't you write a, because I kind of told him I'm going to bounce. I'm going to bounce. Nobody believed me, right? I said, I'm gone, bro. That's enough. That's a wrap. He said, all right, well, check this out. Before you leave, write a book. Write a book with all the wisdom and knowledge you've been spitting to us this whole time you've been here. You know, you pull us aside, you school us, you know, you actually care, right? I said, all right. We met up at a restaurant, we talked it up, we blah, 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 cool. Boom. Crank that out. Crank that book out behind the scenes, right? Behind the scenes. Now I'm working and moving behind the scenes. This is months out. And shout out to all the OGs that taught me at Centinela, right? And then some of the OGs at Donovan that taught me. Because that's not, what's in the book is not my mind. A couple little things. But other than that, all that was just knowledge that I seeped in, right? That's passing it down. That's passing it down to the next generation, which is also gone in the department. It was becoming too dangerous, right? Your boy is and was all about danger, the good kind of danger, the fair danger, right? Where at least we have chances. I once made an analogy that working at Donovan State Prison was like being in a boxing match with your hands tied behind your back, a blindfold on, right? And the ring is on fire. That's exactly how it is, man. You are getting, no matter how much you duck, right, bob and weave, you're gonna get knocked out at some point in time, and it's gonna hurt. Not me, not this guy. I'd rather just take off the blindfold, walk out of that ring, and say, "You guys can have that trash," right? It was administration. That was it. Bottom line. The way that they walked around with a smug look on their face, like they got away with it. Did they really get away with it? I don't think so. I'm blasting them every other video, right? Sprinkle in some funny stories, right? Sprinkle in some war stories, and then sprinkle in the truth. Well, it's all the truth, but you get what I'm saying. So the book, that's how that came about. Boom, right? Self-publishing, Amazon, let's do this. Wow. I have a compadre, right? It was the last Padre game. Whatever that last season was, it was the last Padre home game. I was talking to him like, hey, dude, I'm a bounce. He's like, what? I'm a bounce. I'm a bounce. I'm a bounce. What? Yeah, dude, like, hey, I've had enough. I wrote a book. His eyes got huge. Like, this guy wrote a book. He's from Brawley. People from Brawley don't write books. Oh, well, I wrote a book, right? So he's like, man, whoa, cool. I said, yeah, bro, I'm about to blow the whistle on these fools, right? Like, about to drop a bomb on these fools. Like, his eyes, this fool's looking at me like, nah, bro, please don't do it. No. And I'm just like, I'm going to do it, right? So my homie's gonna back me no matter what, right? Because they know who I am, they know what I'm capable of. They're gonna ride it through thick and thin, and vice versa, right? I will ride with anybody until the wheels fall off. So then, my dad, my pops, oh man, my dad. After they came up to that same Padre game, right? My family came up, and we went to Chuck E. Cheese's right afterwards. This mind was already made. This mind was already set. I don't know if I mentioned that I'm hard-headed and stubborn, but I'm hard-headed and stubborn, right? If I believe in something, that's it. Good or bad. That's what got me in a lot of trouble in the past, man. I have never got on this channel and claimed to be an angel, a saint, innocent of anything. Every lesson I learned in life, I learned the hard way. Your boy has made mistakes. Chalk them up. I made mistakes all the way through, right? But once we were at Chuck E. Cheese's and I had made my mind was set, I asked my dad. I was kind of fishing. You know, I don't mean to be mean or disrespectful, but I was fishing, and I asked him, how much are you making? I was referring to he retired from the department, and I never asked my dad financial questions. That's just kind of not cool. I don't think people should be talking about finances, right? But I'm like, he tells me, I'm doing the math. I'm like, all right. I tell him, it's because I'm thinking of walking away. He's like, no, don't do it. But I understand it. I understand his side. Totally understand it. And I just stayed quiet, right? And now I'm like, man, my pops isn't backing it, right? Like, talk like it's not. I wasn't devastated. I wasn't disappointed. It was what it was, right? I never. In order to do these, in order to succeed or do anything, you have to be level-headed. You cannot get emotional driven, impulse driven, Sacramento, right? You can't base your decisions based on impulse or emotions. It has to be logical. So the next weekend, my father-in-law comes up. Okay, wow, my wife's father. I mean, he loves his granddaughter. Of course, man, of course. I tell him, hey, sir, or like, hey, think I'm gonna quit. Think I'm gonna hang it up. I think that's it, man. He tells me, I wish you the best in everything you do. I wish you the best. And I'm like, man, this dude just gave me his blessings. This dude just gave me his blessings. That's his daughter. That's his granddaughter. That's all. Like, I'm not going to say that's all I needed, but technically kind of that's all I needed, man. When I asked his hand, I asked for his daughter's hand in marriage, like formally, right? Like old school. I don't know if I mentioned I'm an old soul as well, but you guys probably gathered that. So I'm like, all right, cool. This. It's just everything's moving, right? Moving behind the scenes. One of the last steps is I go to CalPERS, right? Our retirement benefits thingy. This was close to me pulling the trigger time. And mind you, at work, I'm not in trouble. I'm not in trouble. I'm still going through some dumb stuff, getting in dumb email battles with my superiors, with captains that captains that are struggling, stressing, drowning, but yet they want to double, triple down on their stupidity. It's like, hey man, relax. Like, listen to the troops, right? Like, relax. Nah, they're not having it. They're not hearing it, right? They're just bombarded with stupidity. So, say, give me my numbers. She looks at my numbers. Boom. This is what you're gonna. When you turn 50 years old, this is what you got coming. I was like, all right. There was a there was a security guard right there. And I'm like, hey dude, what's up, man? Like, blah blah blah. Like, hey, that job pay good right there. He's like, yeah, it's one of the better ones. Starts telling me about security. Security guard like spot. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Cause I'm about to bounce from the Department of Corrections, man. He kind of looks at me like, cool. So I start getting information, right? Security jobs, cause your boy needs some plans, man. Your boy needs plan B, C, D, and E, right? I already had a couple, but like, hey, this is it, man. I'm about to jump. I'm about to take a leap of faith. So, I go back to work, and by that time, because I was going under my middle name, right? I was going under my middle name when I did my social media page and when I did this YouTube page, right? And the reason for that was I did not want my peers at work to catch wind of it, because I already know how they are. Haters, they're going to talk smack, this and that. Not that I care, but I just didn't need my stuff out there, right? Because your stuff gets out there, it can get a wrench can get thrown in your plan, right? For sure. I've seen it over and over again, right? I told you guys how I interviewed for parole agent, and this mean captain called the parole agent office and said some mean things about me, didn't get picked up or whatever. It's all good. I ain't tripping. This is way better. Because now I'm a parole agent, #1 lieutenant in the state, the crisis response team commander for the state, the public information officer for the state. This is me. This is your boy. I get to talk to you guys. I love this. I can't beat it, right? So, with that being said, do I regret it? Oh, so the day that I resigned, man, December 1st, 2022. How can I forget that, right? December 1st, 2022. That day was not a day that I had planned. That day was not a specific day, right? I go to work just regular day. I had already told you all these conversations that I had with my compa, with my dad, with my father-in-law, with the homie that told me to write a book. These are all dudes, right, that I thank. Much appreciated, right? Because I needed that push. I go into the watch commander's office. A few of my peers were talking. By then, they had already discovered my they had already discovered my plan. God damn it, they discovered my plan. Right there, of course, boom, talking shit. It's already you could just imagine, right? And I'm sitting back, quiet, listening. And then one guy says, why now? Why now? Why are you doing this now? You were quiet the whole entire time that Pollard was here. I said, quiet? Homie, I CC'd you and forwarded you all the emails that I fought back. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's like people forget or people make up their own narrative, right? And I said, I fought this. I went under investigation for insubordination 3 times. Two of them from my peers that were acting captains as buffoons, right? Don't be a buffoon. And the other one was from my ex-homito that I just did a video on a couple days ago, right? So your boy was clearly fighting an uphill battle with a blindfold on. So I'm like, you know what? Just from that conversation, honestly, I'm like, I'm out. That's it. It was like 8:30 in the morning. I was a healthcare lieutenant in the TTA. That's a pretty good job, pretty chill, but I don't care. Not good enough. So I go across the street, right, is the watch commander's office, and then I walk across right there. I go to my office. I start typing up my letter of resignation, right? And there was like a couple female partners and their sergeants, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm about to resign. I'm typing up my letter of resignation." They looked at me like, knock it off, right? I'm like, "No, I'm serious." And then they got serious, and they're like, "Are you for real?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Nah, look." But they look over my shoulder, like, "Nah." I'm like, "I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm gonna print it out. I'm gonna sign it. I'm walking out of here." They're like, "Nah." They're like, "For real? Hey, let me know if it's for real. I want to thank you. I want to give you a hug. Like, you were good, this and that." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's for real. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Like, it's printing out right. It's printing out right now. Printed it out, signed it. Right. I kid you not. As soon as I opened the door, you had Central Kitchen right there across the plaza. It was a warden. The warden I knew as a sergeant at Centinela. He's now a warden or acting warden. And you had the chief, right? The chief deputy, the female, right? They promote you. You fail forward in the California Department of Correction, so they promoted her up to Sacramento, of course, right? In an acting capacity, but nevertheless. So those two are right there. I walk up to him. The warden had just touched down like a week ago. And I can guarantee he had heard of me, right, from the previous warden. Because I said I was fighting that battle. So oh, here he comes, right? That lady sees me. She starts shaking, trembling, physically shaking, trembling. And I saw that, and I'm like, man, innocent people don't innocent people don't do that. Innocent people don't shake like that. Like she fears me. My mere presence intimidates her. Like, and I saw it like shaking. He sees me. He says my last name. He nods his head and kind of turns to walk away, right? Like kind of this dude didn't want to talk to me. This dude didn't want no part of anything. I had a pink folder in my hand, right? Got a folder for that letter of resignation. I said, "Sir, I want to hand you my letter of resignation." And he's stops, turns around, hand him the folder. He looks at it, looks at me, and says, "I wish you the best of luck." I said, "Thank you, sir. Likewise. Good luck." Shook my hand. Said, "Go drop it off at the ATM office, right? The personnel office. Turn in your ID up at the front." And I'm like, "Cool. Like I like this is it, right?" So he didn't say like, "What? What can we do to keep you? What can we do?" Right? Everybody knew what time it was, bro. Everybody knew everybody knew that was it, right? Eat better for them. Better for them that I'm not a thorn in their spine. So they thought. So go hand in my letter of resignation to the homies, the LT, the sergeants. Give them a bro hug. Thank them. They were always solid. They were always solid. They always hooked it up, right? Did things when they didn't have to look out for somebody. And no, Sacramento, not gratuities and gifts like your first frivolous investigation. Being a good person. That's it. Oh my God, I can't believe how hard it is for people to be great people. Unbelievable. So I walked through staff entrance, and instantly, the stress was gone. Instantly. Get in the vehicle, drive home. My daughter was there in the living room. She must have noticed the stress gone. She jumped on me, put her arms around my neck, sat on my lap, just like, "I love you, Daddy." Like, I'm not even making this part up. All over me, right? And I'm like, man, this is it. I did it. Like, this is it, right? And that's how that went down. I'm gonna have to do a part two. I'm gonna have to part two because I didn't think it was gonna the behind the scenes story was gonna drag out this long. But thank all you guys, man. Thank all you guys because I literally did a leap of faith. I literally jumped, right? Jumped, and when I grabbed, you guys were there to everybody. everybody that's DM'd me, everybody that's commented, everybody that's liked, everybody that's shared the channel, everybody that's bought a product, merch, simple good telephone calls, text. You, thank you guys, man. You guys were there to catch me. Keep pushing forward.